Greetings from Govardhan, which is 50 yards in this direction. Quite quiet here, actually. I guess people start to come closer to Prabhupada. I know some groups are coming on the 16th and 17th. It reminds me of a famous, there doesn't seem to be as many people here as usual, at least kind of people that I know. It reminds me of a famous Yogi Berra statement. He said, people don't go to that restaurant because it's too crowded there and people don't go there anymore. So I think Govardhan's so crowded that people are not coming here so much. Of course, there's many, many people. Okay, let's begin. Reading from the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta. We'll start today at Volume 2, Chapter 2, Text 132. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Saṁvāhyamāna-caraṇaṁ ramayā suparṇe. Baddhāñjalau kṛta-dṛśaṁ vidhinārcyamānam bhūyo vibhūtibhir amuṁ bahu lālayantaṁ śrī-nārada-praṇaya-bhaktiṣu datta-cittam. As the goddess of fortune, Lakṣmī, massaged his feet, he glanced at Garuḍa, who stood before him with joined palms. Lord Brahmā worshipped the Lord with opulent offerings, and in turn the Lord amply gratified him. Lord Mahāpuruṣa was also attentive to śrī-Narada's displays of loving devotion. Purport: the Lord responded to Brahma's worship by touching him with his hand and showing other signs of affection. The Lord also acknowledged Narada's offering of devotional songs and music. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chaksur Unmulatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya-manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa-kadhamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So greetings from Govardhan. Yes, we're studying about the exalted places, which are a manifestation of the mood of the people who move to the place or design the place or live to the place by their volition. And it very, very much represents their consciousness. So we can understand a lot about people by their environment. We know in the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta there's a science of sacred space. Higher than this space is this space, higher than Vaikuntha is Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, there's Vrindavan forest, there's 12 forests, and in there, Govardhan, and there, Radhakund. Because each place facilitates a more intimate love, and therefore it's a place of more enjoyment, more love, more pleasure. This is Uttara's inquiry about the place, and Marge Prickett tells this story about a Mathura Brahmin who gets a mantra, doesn't know really, he got in a dream, he doesn't have much knowledge, and he begins to search because the mantra, Swarup Gyan, Bhagavat Swarup Gyan, the mantra represents a deity. So it's to connect you in relationship to a deity, and sometimes you try to externally worship what's in your heart. In fact, what is deity worship? Real deity worship is you want to find a deity, then what is in your heart you look for externally. And it supports the revelation of that deity, represents your heart's objectives and nourishes your heart's objectives. So there's a great correlation between place and person, and you know, the whole book here is to give Lord Chaitanya's bhakti, Lord Chaitanya's bhakti to the world. And you know, he goes to this Gop Kumar, and of course, I'm not repeating the story, we know it. He goes to Gop Kumar, and Gop Kumar tells him, I have a very similar story of getting a mantra, and not from my guru, Jayanta, but not really having knowledge of that mantra, but looking for the external manifestation of that name, that mantra, and that mood manifests externally, and he goes on a journey. And never becomes satisfied until he really deeply feels the external manifestation of what's in his heart, fully. And in his journey, I was talking with Niranjan Swami today, what the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta does is, if you study it, even though it's repetitive, and you know what happens, he meets a person, that's the first chapter, the second chapter. It's repetitive, and then he finds God, but ultimately realizes it's not the full revelation of that person, because it doesn't really match his heart and desire for Vrindavan. And then a person from a higher region comes, who the people in that region worship, and therefore he decides to search there. But I saw so far there are these four qualities that carry Gop Kumar forward to his goal, and really are the basis of bhakti. I'm studying this, and it peels off layers of story and understanding to get to the real core consciousness, activities of what is bhakti. It's dedication to mantra, to the guru who gave you the mantra, to a deep sense of humility and simplicity and detachment. And that impels you forward in bhakti with the greatest force. And when we were discussing later, we're going to find out that there's really two levels of humility, and ultimately we want the second level of humility. The first level of humility is what we're struggling with now. Just an understanding that we get, and some kind of feeling based on that understanding that I need to conform myself to something higher than myself. I see my ego, which is fighting that. I see my lack of surrender, which is fighting that type of humility. To really accept an authority higher than our own faulty opinions and be dedicated to following the truth wherever it may bring us. But the higher type of humility is one that's given by the mercy of Krishna. And what's given by the mercy of Krishna is prema, is deep love. And what deep love does, it moves you out of the center and moves the object of your love to the center, whose desires become the agent for all your activities, which you happily accept out of love, which is the opposite of prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara pamudhatma kartaha. Bewildered by the material nature, we think we are the agent, that our desires, our will to desire and control is the supreme absolute destination, and that's who I am. That's the illusion of the material world. Gop Kumar has a taste, not fully, but a taste of this kind of humility. Oh yeah, the things, actually, the things that impel you are your lobha, mayi, your greed, your desire to serve Krishna in a particular form, in a particular way, love. And the mantra which represents that destination, and the guru who gives the mantra and gives the understanding of, and then I would say 5 things, and then our simplicity, our humility and our simplicity. So anyway, Gop Kumar, went to this Tapalok, and remember there was some dissatisfaction because the deep meditators, they everything was so internal, and Gop Kumar needed something more communal. But somehow or other, he stayed there. He always becomes somewhat satisfied because it is a manifestation of God in the process to realize him. But always somehow in the background is that lingering faith, experience in the sweetness of Braja Bhakti. So, and the 4 Kumars, they're such incredible tapasvis there. You remember that what's internal, they can see externally and even manifest externally. And they're encouraging Gop Kumar, especially Pipalayana Rishi, one of the Navayagendras. It's the mind, stay there. And then they see him going, they say, look what the mind can do. And Gop Kumar was also very, very very proficient. And then Lord Brahmā came by, and the four Kumaras were laughing at Gop Kumar. He was such a simple guy. He didn't even know who was the head of the universe. You remind me of Ramesh Baba, the great saint of Barsana, where my friends did bhajan up there. And just asked Ramesh Baba what was the last thing you read in the news, because he doesn't hear any news. He Radha Krishna, the Bhagavatam. And he said, Marilyn Monroe died. I told that many times, but it's kind of charming how detached he was. So Gop Kumar didn't know anything. And they started telling about the venerable, the most respectable Lord Brahmā, and people only live on his planet, Satyaloka, if they can perform Swadharma Shuddha, Sata Janma, 100 years of pure Dharma, without any deviation in such a place, and he's so venerable and so many things. And Gop Kumar, by his mantra, the power of his mantra, he winds up in Satyaloka. And because there's an enclave of Mahavishnu, so he sees Mahavishnu in it. And what does he see? He sees him with it. This verse is so beautiful today. He sees him with the devotees reciprocating. I remember I told you my friend Arjuna used to come to my class, and he used to like this statement, and one purport I repeated from Prabhupada, where Prabhupada said, Krishna is responsive. So it just shows here, Garuḍa is there, and kṛta-dṛśaṁ, he glanced at him. The eyes express the affection for him. And Lord Brahmā, he amply, I don't know what he gave him, but it said it amply gratified him. And then he was also attentive to the praṇaya-bhaktiṣu, śrī-nārada-praṇaya-bhaktiṣu, the displays of devotion caught his attention. So this is the ultimate reality, God and God's energies. And ultimately, bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranayate male apashyat purusham purnam maya chatapasrayam. What Vyasadeva saw by bhakti yoga, without any distraction, and he got a vision of the absolute truth. He saw God and God's energies under his control. But he didn't just see the external energy, he saw the internal energy. He saw the pastimes of Krishna. So he saw it's God and God's devotees and their loving exchange. Rasa Vaisa, because that is the ultimate reality. Love makes the world go round. So he sees this, and this is so inspiring to him. And then, where Mahavishnu is, he saw this very beautiful thing of him instructing Lord Brahmā, Brahmā is sitting on this lotus, and the Lord is giving him Mahārasyam, very confidential, datta-cittam. We did this before, of the scriptures, step by step, the greatest mysteries of the essential truth of the revealed scriptures. And he's teaching him the bhakti margam of devotional service. Hearing these matters, he became overwhelmed. It's not just the subject matter overwhelms you, and the bhava of the word, the bhava, the words which carry the bhava or the heart of the person who's explaining them, who's qualified. and that enters into the heart, and you become pramoda of joy, by overwhelmed by sampat, the opulence of joy, vast of joy. This is an opulence of joy. And therefore he repeated each point very quietly that he heard, and then offered his respects. This is how you learn. Pramoda vegat patitam visham gyam vilokya samam abhigamya Lakṣmī Ninaya samgyan bahu lālayidva svabala parshvam utasvabartu. Lakṣmī saw that by the force of ecstasy I had fallen into a swoon. So she cuddled me like her own son to restore me to consciousness, and then brought me to the side of her husband. I would say if there's two qualities that are manifest in all the Vaishnavas that we see in Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, they don't want to be in the center. And they think of others before themselves. That's compassion. So by hearing the force of ecstasy, Lord Brahmā saw that Gop Kumar, who came there and saw this incredible scene of God reciprocating with his devotees in various ways, including patiently teaching Lord Brahmā, then by that force of that ecstasy, Gop Kumar said, I fell down, and she cuddled me like her son and restored me to consciousness, and then brought me to Lord Shiva. Bhagavantam mahupasyan pranamam avadam mana najepshitantam adyaga nichalam tvam mudam bhaja. Gazing at the Supreme Lord and repeatedly bowing down before him, I told my mind, today you have attained the ultimate fulfillment of all your desires. Nishchalam, mudham, bhaja, please experience. Be steady and joyful. This is the ultimate fulfillment of all your desires, to see Lord Brahmā, the supreme creator of this universe, in relationship, in an affectionate relationship with God, and to see that prema, that exchange of energy. He said, this is it. Ipsitantam. This is the end of my desires. I told my mind, this is the ultimate fulfillment. And now the next 4 verses of Gop Kumar to his mind. Ashresha shoka santrasa huka hinam idam padam paramadhi paranandam nishchitam jagararchitam. This abode, free from all sorrow, fear, and pain, is worshipped by the entire world. It is filled with the greatest opulence and bliss. So, ashesha, all, hinam, without, shoka, sara, tasasa, fear, dukkha, pain, and it's worshipped by the whole world. It's filled with the greatest opulence and joy, inconceivable wealth, happiness unequaled by any sensual experience, great another place in the universe. Satyaloka is on it everywhere. On Tuesday, I have one Chaitanya Charitamrita class. I have one Chaitanya Charitamrita class, and it's talking about prasadam, and there's verse after verse after verse of prasadam. And Lord Chaitanya is just glorifying it to no end. He says these material elements are there, but somehow that same prasadam, when it's offered to God, the experience is just wonderful, wondrous. It's wonder, it's awe-inspiring. And I asked the devotees if anyone had that experience with prasadam. I know I did. It was something else. It was the taste but be so pleasurable that it was far beyond any sensual or egotistical pleasure I ever had in my life. And the reason is that Krishna-katha, it's mixed with the saliva of Krishna's lips. It goes verse after verse. So there's this understanding that yes, you're seeing, you're tasting, you're feeling, but it's somehow another level of experience. You can't even, it's just, looking at the form of Krishna, it becomes another experience. It's the same thing everybody else is seeing, but it's different. It's the same thing that ordinary people may be tasting, but it's different. So, this Satyaloka, happiness unequaled by any sensory experience in this universe. It is a sensory experience, but it's a transcendental sensory experience. And you're feeling the taste and the touch and the sight and the sounds, but it's so far beyond what you can do with the senses, but yet it's sensual, and then it's transcendental, and it's also a paradox because it frees you from all material attachment. It's the most erotic, it's the most sensual, it's the most, I don't know, erotic is where, but it's the most taste, but it frees you from that at the same time. It's a complete different abode. So Gopkumar is saying this abode is something else. I'm experiencing it. Yadrisha sambhavad bhratur jagad ishastadrisha but yashesha mahataya param kastam gataspitam. Dear brother, this planet shines forth with as much perfection as the Lord of the universe himself. It displays the final limit of complete excellence. Mahataya, Mahat great, Mahataya, the greatest, the most excellent. Param, extreme. Kastam, the limit. Gata is gone. It's sputam, it shows you that. Extreme limit of excellence. Purport, in the material world, persons and things have varieties of relative excellence. One person has a well-pushed body, another is charming, another virtuous, another powerful. But the world of Satyaloka manifests all kinds of excellence to the greatest degree possible in the material universe. No place is in any way as great. Sneham anvabhavo Lakṣmī dirgham pasyaduna prabhum matara vrajabhu shokam yayasam chanyato jahi. You have felt the affection of Lakṣmī, Gopkumar, He's saying to his mind, now see with your eyes her Lord. Give up your thoughts of going away from here and give up your grieving over the cows of Vraja and Mathura. Because every place he goes, it comes to his mind. The cows, the birds, the flowers, Vraja in Mathura. That's his mind. Look what I'm attaining here. Give this up. And it's so interesting because he can never give it up. Because in essence, that mantra and the revelation of that mantra it's just another world. And he has some realization of that. Jagadishad vidateva lalayantaṁ ched abhipsasisi tan Mahāpuruṣa dishta mantra shaktya felicity. If you want to be pampered like Brahmā by the Lord of the universe, that you can also achieve by the power of the mantra taught to you by the great souls. Brahmā in that loving exchange, being taught in ecstasy. You can have that. Purport. The personality of God is present in Brahmaloka as Lord Mahāpuruṣa. But in Govardhan, Gopkumar has met another Mahāpuruṣa, the great devotee who has initiated him into the chanting of the Gopal mantra. For Gopkumar to be as familiar as Brahmā with Lord Purush will be difficult, but we shall see how an arrangement is made for him. Because he has that relationship with Guru, who's on the highest platform. Nidralilam Prabhur Beje Loka Padme Syabna Bijay Shrishti Ritim Vidhir Vrikshya Satkrityaya Bhavadbhahi. The Supreme Lord turned to his pastime of sleep. Haribo. Okay, okay. Parson, saf, whole room, okay? And tomorrow, no roti? No. Okay. Khichdi, okay. Glories of Braj. I have an assistant. He comes every day at 5 o'clock. He'll clean the rooms, he'll buy things, he'll change the sheets, he'll clean outside, he'll fix things, he'll get the plumber, and he brings me every morning 4 Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta rotis, which is my prasad actually here. Is those 4 Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta rotis right now. And we give him 6,000 rupees, which is about $70 or $80 a month. So those of you who are thinking of retiring to Braj, there are some advantages. And he's Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta. So he works someplace else, and after work he comes here. Okay. The Supreme Lord turned to his pastime of sleep. And Brahmā, sitting on the universal lotus born from the Lord's navel, realized what he had to do to recreate the universe, and so came outside to do his work. Purport. The transcendental Lord never sleeps, but he enjoys his pastime of pretending to sleep. Brahma's seat is the lotus that grows from the navel of Garbhodaka Vishnu and bears the original subtle form of the 14 created worlds. While sitting on that lotus, Brahmā could see within it the entire plan for creating the universe. Without wasting time, he studied it thoroughly and then came out to discharge his responsibility. He came down from the lotus left Mahāpuruṣa's residence and went to his own. So maybe it's a day of Lord Brahmā. He has to create the universe. He described, I think before, he's the dispenser of karma, and just the mechanisms of the universe and how everything is coordinated. So he's described as the most intelligent person. And it's within the lotus that the kind of the building plan is there. So he came outside to do his work. Pashan prabho rupam mado mahadbhutam tadnabi padme yugapattata jagat gudhopadesha savanach chatur mukha prema pravaham sasukham tatovasam. I lived there happily for some time, seeing the very wonderful form of the Lord, observing the universe within the lotus grown from his navel, and witnessing the waves of love flowing over Brahmā as he heard confidential instructions from the Lord. Purport, Gopkumar was even more satisfied on Satyaloka than on Swargaloka and the planet of the sages. The confidential instructions, prema pravaham, the flood of love, in terms of Guda Upadesh, Shravana, the floods of love coming from hearing the confidential instructions. This is why kirtan is so important. Kirtan, the bhava in the heart expressed. So it comes in the form of singing mantras and kirtan. The kirtan comes in form of instruction. And then hearing the kirtan of the Lord, which is his love for his devotees in terms of his instruction. And being qualified to actually receive it by opening the consciousness by the mechanism of faith. It's just amazing. So he lived there and witnessing the waves of love, and by appreciating it, also having some experience of it himself. So he was becoming very satisfied. Kritsne lokatriye nashte ratrave karnave sate shesho pari sukam shete bhagavam brahmana samam. During the dark of night, when the three worlds are totally destroyed and the universe becomes a single ocean, the personality of Godhead lies comfortably on Seshanaga together with Brahmā. Purport, after each cycle of 1,000 yugas, Brahma's day end, that's 1,000 times 4,320,000 years of our years, and Brahmā joins the Vishnu, Mahāpuruṣa, in going to sleep. Stuyate chitra vakye sa janalokadi vasavi tanmaharotukam vikshasye brahmaloka prabhavata. The residents of Janaloka and other higher planets praised the personality of God with choice words. I saw these fascinating events by the powerful influence of Brahmaloka. Purport, when Lord Mahāpuruṣa sleeps, sages from Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka came to recite his glories. Gopkumar's previous encounters with the night times of Brahmā on the planets of Maha, Jana, and Tapa had been less pleasant than this. He'd been unaware how Lord Mahāpuruṣa and Brahmā enjoy their sleep when all the sages come to recite glories. It's so fascinating for him, Gopkumar. Antadaya kadachit chet kutrapi bhagavan vraje sokasya ragate chasmin samula shiyate sana. When the Lord sometimes went elsewhere, he would disappear and I would be unhappy. But that painful feeling would be cut to the root as soon as he returned. Purport, unaware of where the Lord was going, Gopkumar was distressed by the Lord's absence. When the Lord would return after a short while, Gopkumar would at once forget his distress and even forgot that the Lord had left him. Thus his feelings of unhappiness and satyaloka are of little account. The one small reason for unhappiness that sometimes arose was short-lived and so did not affect his overall mood. After I had spent some days in this way, early one morning, out of curiosity, Brahmā touched a mass of foam and turned into a demon. Purport, Gopkumar was harboring the desire to become Brahmā so that he can enjoy Brahma's special relationship with the Lord of the universe. He thought of this desire while chanting his japa, and thus after a few of Brahma's days, Gopkumar was granted what he wanted. A large residue of foam was left from the previous ocean of devastation, and Brahmā touched it, unmindful of any serious consequence. The foam turned into a terrible demon, huge and extremely strong due to being born from the vast waters of devastation. Terrified of him, Brahmā fled. The personality of God had killed the demon, but Brahmā, overcome by fear, did not come back, and the Lord assigned me to his post. And this happens every place. And I guess, how God deals with one. Sometimes he fulfills all your desires, so you can become detached from them by becoming frustrated by them. Because material desires as you indulge in them, they become less and less pleasurable, and they increase the bodily concept of life, where the difficulty to extract the pleasure, we absorb ourselves in the bodily concept of life. But there was a saying I read in the book on happiness that a drop of pain is felt more than a ton of pleasure. So by all the pleasure that one gets, he absorbs himself in if he doesn't regulate it by dharma, he absorbs himself in the material concept of life, so that the very thing that causes him pleasure intensifies his feelings of pain. Okay, I don't know right now if I'm being hit by some, it can't be jet lag. I've been here for 2 weeks, but it's hitting me at this time. And I seem to have sufficient rest. I didn't rest after lunch, but I took a nap in the morning. Anyway, Jamunajaya, any points today?
Hi, Krishna. Thank you for class. First of all, wow, this thing with him keep coming, the king, and then Lord Indra, and then Lord Rama. It's just all the ways that Krishna facilitates his desire to keep putting this place. It's just
He
amazing.
facilitates the desire to have him renounce the desire and keep him moving forward on this indirect process, which is, and Prabhupada said that when Jayananda passed away, he said if he had any small desire, he'll enjoy 10,000 times on the planet of the demigods and then come back and go back to Godhead. So, but it's interesting how they said that they knew about his guru being sent, and in other words, it's the image that everything that comes is sent by God to give us the proper experiences to help us move forward, provided we can respond to it in the appropriate way. Yeah.
And I love those points you made at the beginning, Raj, about the help us with making progress, dedication to the mantra, dedication to the guru, dedication to being humble, some detachment and simplicity. That was a really wonderful list to
And
cultivate.
that greed in the heart. Let me
Green
serve Radha Muralidhar, that greed in the heart. Okay, thank you.
heart.
Gail, Haribo.
Hi, Krishna Maharaj. You had mentioned that there were two things that the personalities in this story all seem to have in common. One was that they don't want to be in the center.
Right.
And what's the
Thinking
number
of others.
two? Oh, thinking of others.
It happened in a previous something I was reading, I think just recently with Dhanurdhara Swami. That who was it? Who we're up to with him? Yeah, it was Gop Kumar, but it was someone else. They did not want to be praised, and then it was someone else, but Gop Kumar, he did not want to be praised, and also he received compassion from Lakṣmī. So when I saw that, I thought these are two key components to keep us out of the devotion busting center.
Oh, so the second one is really to have compassion for others.
Compassion, yeah.
Do you remember earlier in the story you said something about the person getting every point, and that's how you learn? You remember saying something like that? Getting every point.
You have
That's
to be more explicit.
Yeah. Okay. I had to re-listen.
Okay, Haribo, thank you, Gil.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else like to say hello? I'm looking at the list here of all the faithful followers that listen, and I'm thanking you all.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Haribo, Lal and Braja.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for class.
Thank you for class.
Okay, Braja, I'll see you soon.
Yeah. Well,
In a
like
month.
yeah, like November, yeah.
3 weeks. When do you leave?
I leave on October 27th.
Excited?
Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait to be there with you.
Yeah, my place is great.
Is it finished?
Yeah, I mean, finally the construction was kind of finished. A few very minor things, but it was finished and it came out pretty good. We just had some visitors here. I have this disciple from Thailand and her husband. They're Russians.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in a way, she's very, very serious. She has 3 kids.
Wow.
So her and her husband stayed there. So I saw that it actually came out really nice. I didn't do anything. I told them I couldn't take care of them. I couldn't do anything because someone wanted me, but they came anyway, and some people helped them. Okay.
Nice.
Anybody else like to say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is Denny from Ohio. Finally
Ohio.
back.
Yeah, thanks for listening, Denny.
No, I used to come on all the time, and then it wouldn't let me connect for a while. I had to get a new phone, but I just stayed 2 weeks in New Vrindavan and getting my mind back to where it needs to be at. I went through a suicidal thing for about a month, and yeah, I just slipped, but now I'm back, Maharaj, and I'm so glad to watch your videos and listen to you, and just blessed to have you in my life.
Well, thank you so much, Denny. Thanks a lot, and be well. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, Haribo. Anybody else like to say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for class.
Oh, Hemalath Radha from my room in Vrindavan, huh? It's a long trip. You're resting up?
I think today I'm fully recovered, so I'm already planning on going to Garuḍa.
Okay, you're enjoying Vrindavan?
Yes, lots of kirtan.
Are you going to Madhava's Kirtan in the evening?
Yeah, In the evening at 4 p.m. at MBT, and then 7 p.m. twice a week at Prabhupada's room. And in the morning at 7 a.m. in the temple.
He does kirtan all those times.
Yes.
Wow. And thank you for your 2 letters. I haven't got a chance to. I got another one today. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, good. I'm so happy to see you there. I like my place is being used. Otherwise it sits there. Yugala Priti will use it afterwards. That couple was there before. And a lot of service out here for you. A lot of service. Okay.
Okay, Maharaj, thank you.
Okay, anybody else want to say hello?
Hare Krishna, Gurudev. Yavatsundari is here. Thank you very much for the class.
You're so steady. You hear all the classes. That's what a good disciple does. Thank you.
That's my honor, Maharaj. That's my pleasure that you let me in and you let me to listen to you. That's very kind of you.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, anybody else say hello? Otherwise, I'm looking at the list of people who attended the class.
This is Krishna-katha. Thank you so much for the class. I'm very, very grateful to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're so steady too. Okay, I'm going
Hare
down.
Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Narmasak is here. Thank you for the class. It was wonderful. Thank you.
When will I taste the Supreme Personality of Rice again?
Soon, Guru Maharaj. Soon, very soon.
Okay, good.
I hope so. Thank you. With your blessing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha